everyone, welcome back. I am Kelly with Kelly Hill Yoga, and this is day 3 of our 30 days of yoga. Yes, can't believe it. Day 3 already? Man, let's just show some love to the muscles and tendons that it takes to move those joints, muscles, tendons, ligaments, that it takes to move those joints and create those beautiful postures that we have created over the past 2 days. So let's just show some love to those things that our body is able to do. And we're just going to do some stretches. So let's start by lying on our mat. Start laying down, both legs stretched out in front of you. Just take a moment to create our little bubble for our space, our love, our energy. We're going to show ourselves, set an intention to reset, refocus. Start with the simplest thing, which is just breathing in and out. Start by taking our right knee into our chest. Give it a nice hug. If this is too much in your left leg, especially in that front hip, it's totally okay to bend that knee. Bring your sole of your foot to the mat. Not keep that leg straight. Lift that right foot up as you either choose to grab the back of the thigh, calf, or ankle. And today I'm just going to do thigh. My hamstrings are always notoriously super tight. I don't know about you. I've been a runner the majority of my life. It's a very singular plane movement. Just this forward motion, right? So other parts of my body were seriously neglected. Things like hip openers and hamstring, and my body just is singing. Hello. Let's roll our foot a little, point, flex. Feel a nice opening in the shin if you point. Just waking things up. Day 3, showing some love to the body. Rebend in that knee. We're going to transition that knee to the left to come into a spinal twist. I like to, before we come into the twist, I like to shimmy my hips a little bit to the right as I twist to the left. It's not about perfection. Let's reach that right arm out to the side or out to the right. You can take your gaze there. Not holding any tension anywhere. Keeping a gentle softness today. It's about just showing some self-care within self-care, if that's even possible. Nice. Slowly come back to center. Take your right ankle placed over your left thigh, almost like you're creating the letter or the number 4 with your legs as you draw your left thigh to your chest with the bend in the leg. So this is like a seated pigeon or supine pigeon, seated supine figure 4. You choose to grab the front of this left shin, back of the thigh, Not shifting your hips any one direction. Slightly tuck your chin. Keep length in that cervical spine. These little things we tell our bodies to do. Tucking the chin, keeping the hips level. It's like we're multitasking, creating all these fun little neurological pathways all at once. So the more complex movements we start to do, the more super mega awesome our bodies get at become multitasking. Sometimes I like to take my right elbow, push on my right thigh a little bit to deepen the stretch, but your body, your choice, your practice. It's your living room, right? Can't get any more yours. Slowly release. Straighten that right leg as you bring the left knee to your chest. Bending your right leg if you have to, if it's too intense in that right hip flexor or front of your right hip. Just hugging it out for a minute. Rocking back and forth if you need. Just moving that your femur bone in your hip joint a little bit. Reach your left foot to the sky, choosing to grab either the back of the thigh, calf, or ankle. Your choice. Like I said, today I'm just going to stick with the thigh. It is totally normal if you have one side of your body that screams at you, or if you have another side that like, dude, that's awesome, this feels so good. Point, flex your foot, roll your ankle, just waking things up in this left side. But I'm notoriously left tight on my left side. I wonder if there's like studies if like it's whatever your dominant hand is. Like I'm left-handed, so I wonder if that has anything to do with it. Sorry, random yoga thought of the day. Refocus, Kelly. Let's get back to it. Sorry, everyone. Showing some love to that hamstring, waking things up. All right. Rebending in that knee, hugging it in, shimming your hips a little bit to the left before you transition that left knee over to the right. Reach out with your left hand. Really waking up the whole left side of your body. In postures like this, where we're kind of in a lot of different planes, once again, it's important to just keep continuity of where your body is spatially. Slowly coming back to center. Sorry. Taking that left foot, placing it over your right thigh. Bringing that right leg to your chest for the supine pigeon, supine figure 4. Important here, if this is too much for your knees, to back off. And there's that age-old argument of whether or not to keep your foot flexed in this pose to create stability. But if keeping it flexed does create stability in your knee, then go for it. If not, it doesn't matter either way. Everybody is different. It's important not to compare ourselves to others, right? Kind of like comparing ourselves to one side of the body to the other, right? Even having that small judgment, like, left side, why aren't you as good as the right? Just being okay with what our body's able to give us, being okay with ourselves. Slowly release. And one last little hug into your knees, or knees into your chest. Rock back and forth. Create some circles. Yes. Nice big hug. And if you want, you can rock up to a seated position or just roll, flop, whichever you choose. Just meet in a seated pose. Just going to come into a nice little transition, and I'm going to face you guys for this, but it doesn't matter. Just going to open up our hips a little bit, bring in the soles of the feet together. You can either choose to have your feet wide out in front, close, just whatever your body is willing to give you in order to keep integrity up through the crown of your head, right? Like somebody's lifting a string that pulls your whole spine to lift and lengthen. I like to put both hands on my ankles in order to pull my chest forward. Right? And we're not even going to get crazy and try and like bend forward and fold ourselves in half. We're just going to stay here, hang out for a few rounds of breath. Just opening up those hips. Keeping length, not holding any tension anywhere. This is just showing some love. Not letting our thoughts wander. They are. Reel them back in. Stop thinking about your to-do list or what everyone else is doing, or when is this going to be over. Let's just hang out this moment, this sensation. Take 1 minute of your day to just be in that minute. I mean, how often are we able to do that? Truly be in the moment, listening, feeling, adjusting, breathing. Nice. All right, let's grab each one of our knees, use our hands to bring everything back together. Very nice. And let's come on to our bellies. However, which way you want to get there. Roll there, flop there, whichever you like. Hopefully my microphone is going to stay hooked up for you guys while we do this. All right, showing some love. This is a little bit awkward, so if you have to watch me, that's totally okay. So we're going to open up our shoulders a little bit. So let's bring your right arm, since you'll be able to see this side better, your right arm. So your elbow is level to your shoulder, and it's at like your elbow's bent at 90 degrees, those cactus arms that we've talked about in previous practices. Now we are going to, with your left hand, push to the right as you take your left leg, if able, and step it over. If this is too much, back off and just push with your left hand in order to open up that right shoulder. If this is still too intense, sometimes it's nice to just have your arm straight out or at a 45-degree angle, just whichever feels good to you. Rolling onto that right hip. And this can be very intense, like I said, so it's totally okay if you need to just have a slight opening in that right shoulder. Minimal movement can be just as effective. And we won't be here long. Slowly roll back onto your belly. Bring that left hand out to repeat on the left side. So your elbow is bent, elbow at the same height as your shoulder. As you, or if not slightly above, as you slowly push with this hand in order to roll onto that left hip. I know it's super awkward. Like I said, if this is too much, it's totally okay. It's pretty intense for me right now. We won't be here long. Slowly come back to center. And we're going to bring our right heel to our butt as close as we can get it. And if able, grab that right foot, the top of the foot, ankle, or shin, whichever you can reach. And resting our head on the ground, let's just get a nice quad stretch. Pulling that heel to your butt or your booty. Let's go ahead and push your foot into your hand as you're simultaneously pulling, like a counterproductive move. Changes the intensity of, not necessarily the intensity, just changes, stretch a little bit. Keeping that knee square, not shifting your foot to one side or the other. Slowly release. Not slinging anything back. Left foot to your left booty, your left cheek. Grab with your hand either the top of the foot, ankle, shin, whichever you choose. Just get a nice stretch. That left quadricep, basically the front of your left thigh. I'm sorry if this is making my sound weird with it being on my microphone on the side. Let's do that counter intuitive move. Push away from our glute as we pull our foot towards. When we do little things like this, creates a little bit more integrity in your joint stabilizers or your ligaments. Slowly release, re-straighten. Pushing hands up under your shoulders, push your hips back to a child's pose. Let's do a wide-legged child's pose. So let's have our knees about the width of our mat, your choice. So we're going to be here for a little bit, and I find when our knees are together and your belly and chest is resting on them, it can be restrictive in your breath. So if we're going to be here for a little bit, just kind of doing some side body stretches, it's nice to have your legs nice and wide. Bring our arms out in front of us. If this is too much on your shoulder, just hang out here. Child's pose, like this. Totally cool. You do you, right? All right, for the rest of you, if you want to keep moving forward, we're going to have our hands out in front. And we're going to take our hands, we're going to reach to the right. Nice stretch in the left side body. Slowly come back to the middle. Crawl or walk your hands over to the left side. Trying to keep your hips as square on your feet as possible. Big toes together. You're not shifting to any one side or the other. Sometimes it's hard to do days like these where a little bit slower, a little bit less movement. I know it was for me at first, especially coming from military life, military type PT, where it's like unless you're puking or bleeding, it's not PT. So sometimes it's hard to just be here and quiet the mind. Small movements. I find it harder some days than to have a lot of movement and sweat. But our body needs days like this just as much as it needs days where we're creating powerful amounts of energy. All right, back to center. Slowly rise up, one vertebrae at a time. A nice seated position. One last little love we're going to show. So let's come up onto our knees and let's tuck our toes. So if you need to, grab that little pinky toe. It seems to always want to stay stuck to your other toe. And let's fold our toes like this. We're under. And we're going to sit back on our heels, right? If this is too much, you're more than welcome to grab a blanket, place it on your knees, or just go back to child's pose. This can be pretty intense for some individuals, and that's okay. listening to your body. I'm just going to stay here for a minute. If you want, have one last little opener for your shoulders. Clasp your hands together. Pull your chest out. Just one last little love. Lengthening through the spine. Slowly release, unclasp the hands, place them on the tops of your thighs. Unfolding, let's place our hands like we're almost going to come into a tabletop. Slowly untuck those toes. So we come back. Sit on them for just a minute for a counterintuitive move. This is a great time if you need any last little stretch, movement, love, anything. Go ahead and do it. If not, come meet me in the middle of your mat. Legs folded, spread out in front of you, or if you'd like, you're more than welcome to take Savasana or corpse pose, laying down. Today I choose to be seated. Let's go ahead, and if you like, open your palms to the sky. Sometimes this can feel very vulnerable. If you'd like, you may have more of like a closed connection. Hands on your knees to feel more grounded. Right, your heart space, third eye, just wherever you can find a moment to gather your mind for one last little thank you to your body. As we reset the breath. Sitting tall, shoulders pulled down and away. Integrity. So we breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. You choose to have your eyes closed, just heavy lidded, focusing your gaze on something. If your mind has wandered, let's bring it back, reel it back in. We're not ready to come out of our little bubble yet. Your eyes are closed. Slowly flutter them open if you like. If you wish, just go ahead and stay here. Just bring awareness back to surroundings, how we're feeling. Let's take one last little moment to enjoy this calm that we've created. Just like this soothing vibration that our breath creates in and out. Being in the moment. Before we have to readjust. Move your shoulders a little bit. Just wake back up. Re-energize. Thank you so much for spending this day 3 of just taking care of ourselves, doing a little self-love within our practice of self-love to our bodies. And thank you so much. And once again, if you like this, please subscribe and like. And I will see you for day 4 tomorrow. Thank you, thank you. I love you all.